Now here's a knife we've talked about before, but it really is. It is a good starter knife for just about anybody. You can modify it, change it, new grips. You don't have a lot of money invested in it, so here it is. Let's get started. You'll be glad you did. The COLDSTEEL GI Tanto. It's one heck of a knife, I'll tell you what. For $16.95, that's what I paid for two of them. I bought two of them. The reason why I bought two of them is pretty simple. When it comes to outdoor equipment, mainly knives and firearms, there's a different mathematical equation that you should consider. And that is, one is none. Two is one. Remember that. And besides, for the price, really? You have 2 or 3 packs, you have a big family, you want to get interested in the outdoors, you want to get them interested in bushcraft, survival, all kinds of things. As far as a beater knife is concerned, you can't get better. This is one heck of a knife. Comes with a Secure-X sheath. It's fixed up for the right-handed person, but the thing about it is you can take this strap off, flip it around. The left-handed person, such as myself, can use it. So that's a big plus for me, because I've spent upwards of $200 or $300 on a knife, and the manufacturer would not provide a left-handed or a universal sheath for the knife. And I figured, well, okay, I'll go to someone else. And I found people that would. Because if you're paying $200 or $300 for a knife, surely you can get an ambidextrous type sheath that's good for a left-handed person or a right-handed person. Just have to do some adjustments. But for $16.95, high quality, good steel, it's a bare bones knife. Yes, I know. Let's take a look at it. Let me look at some of my notes here. Can't remember like I used to, but anyway, the blade length from here to here, 7 inches. The handle length is 5 inches. So you have 5 inches for the handle length, 7 inches for blade length. The overall length of the knife is 12 inches or 1 foot. How thick is it? 4 millimeters thick steel. That's good steel. Now, as far as the blade steel is concerned, this is what makes it special. There's 2 things that usually do in a knife. This is a 1055 carbon steel. When you get up to the 1095s, the steel is harder and it could become more brittle. But the higher quality knives are usually made out of some type of super steel, D2 and better, or the 1095 steel, which is a high carbon steel. They'll last, they'll take a beating, but I kind of prefer a spring steel. The 1055 carbon, high carbon steel, 1055 carbon steel is good enough. On all knives you have to be careful, because when they make the knife, if the tip is real thin, then you want to go testing, go beating on it stuff, jamming it deep into a log, going like that, you're going to snap the tip off. However, I have seen some of these knives go through absolutely incredible abuse, and they're still there. No problem whatsoever. But this knife here, choil, finger choil, excellent. The handle, the scales down here, could do a better job on there. But for the price, you can go ahead and do it yourself. If they become loose, you can either tighten up the screws down here, take them out, epoxy these on, or you can go ahead and make your own modifications. Obviously it's a full tang. It's got a hole for a lanyard. Up here, finger guard. A lot of people don't like the finger guard up here on the top. Well, you can go ahead and chop that off if you want, or modify it. You could put some jimping up here. Jimping is where you can put your thumb and actually get in and use the knife. Up here for batoning, this is a great knife for that. The bad thing about this is, and several other knives, up here in the swage, sharp. Now if you got that on a piece of wood, you're going to baton it, well, that's going to be eaten into your baton. Now what you might want to do, if you're going to use this knife for a lot of batoning, is maybe go ahead and flatten this off a lot if you want. I'm just going to use mine for the average outdoor survival scenarios and general camp knife and the beater knife. But I usually try to take care of my stuff. This here is made in China, yeah, and I believe they have some now that's starting to be made in Taiwan. And it's a good quality knife, and if you can catch them on sale like I did, hey, get several of them, outfit them, keep them in your cars, keep them in your backpacks, obviously in camp, put them in your caches you got stashed around the woods. Oh, do you have caches stashed around the woods? That's something to think about. We'll talk about that in another video. But as far as modifications go, this is the ideal knife to modify if you want. What we're going to do now is take this sheath and I'm going to put a pouch on it. One that I can go ahead and put survival gear in, whetstone, sharpening stone. You can put food in it, not a lot of food. You can put a few things in it, from fishing line to whatever, matches, whatever you need. It's something that you can use. You can strap this down to your backpack. It's an excellent knife, excellent combination. Let's get started on that right now. We'll go through some basics and see what it looks like when it's finished. Okay, what I've done here, I've already taken out one snap. Used to be right there. Now let's try to take out the other one. Let's get this started. Put it in there. Make sure you're not pinching the fabric. Put some pressure on it. There you go. We got the other one out of there. Fabric's in good order. Now that hole that's there, you can go ahead and sew that up if you want to. Put a couple stitches in it. Use carpet thread, button thread, something of that nature. Let me get this other piece out. Where'd it go? There it is. And we've got it. So there you go. These snaps, which used to hold and snap into here, both of these used to be on the back of this pouch. Had to use a razor blade, in this case a scalpel blade, to go ahead and cut this off. The normal seam ripper would not work to go through here. Wasn't strong enough. There's some heavy duty stuff here, which is good. Glad to know when I was in the military they used heavy duty things. Anyway, so we're going to end up putting this pouch on this sheath for the GI Tanto. So I'm modifying this pouch so it lays flatter, and I will be able to later line up everything, stretch this out a little bit, make sure everything's nice and flat. I'll probably end up putting a piece of wood in here to get this really flat. And then I will take this pouch put it on the outside of this knife sheath, line up right where I want it, make sure it's not up too high, maybe even make sure it's down a little bit low, but I get it where I want it, make sure it's all square. Then I'll go ahead and mark with a permanent marker in through these holes onto this backing. Then I'll come back with a very, very hot piece of metal, probably even possibly a Phillips screwdriver, just heat one up on a flame so I could make sure this is out of the way, and then I could go ahead and just burn a hole right through there. Thus it would seal off all this here, keep it from fraying, and it will be a solid hole, if that makes sense, a solid hole. And then I go ahead and put my other nut and bolt through there to help hold this on. That way I can put survival gear in here, a small sharpening stone, what have you. That'll go on the side. We'll see how it's going to look pretty soon. Well, we're back. Completed project. The 2 magazine pouch, camo, already have it attached. I had to use the post screws that I talked about before, earlier. And on here, the screw heads had to be on the outside instead on the inside of here, where I could go ahead and tighten them up because I couldn't get a screwdriver in there. Anyway, got those tight. What you can do, you can come back, you can put I guess fingernail polish, the clear type on there to lock the screw threads down, or go ahead and use screw locker. You have to remember this here is aluminum, so you could strip these if you get them too tight. And I went ahead and I switched the strap, carrying strap, over to the opposite side because I'm left-handed. I got everything situated. There you go, the whole thing can strap onto your belt. And go ahead and have a leg tie on the bottom part of the sheath, just like on here. Everything's the same, it snaps. I put an orange lanyard on the top so I can see it easier in case I drop it or for whatever reason it comes out. Let's see what I got in here. Now this is just some things I threw together. You can obviously use your own stuff that you need for the environment you're going into. Okay, now it has a clip, I should say a snap, Velcro. Let's see, now obviously I have a flashlight, 65 lumens. It's bright, it does the job. You have to be careful with this particular one because it's on top. You have to make sure it works its way down in there. Otherwise, if it's really packed tight, this could here snap on, then when you need it, it's useless. So remember that. Okay, flashlight. Look at what I have here. Ferrocerium rod, fire steel. We're going to throw some sparks with this. It's a heavy one. You can use a smaller one. They make smaller ones you can buy at the store locally. 550 cord, or you can use other cord. And granted, you can still put more in here if you want. Now here, your matches, so-called lifeboat matches, tinder, other things there. Okay, we got that. What else we got in here? Water purification tablets. And that's about it. Nope. Look what we got in here. Small sharpening stone. Now, you can still put more in here, rearrange things a little bit, use some different type cordage if that's what you want. You're going into an area where you can go ahead and fish. Well, obviously, in a little small plastic bag, you can go ahead and put in some already snelled hooks, some monofilament and or other cords, some weights, maybe some flies or something. You have yourself a little portable fishing kit. That's not bad for here. Now you can also, like I said, mix it up a little bit, put in different things. that works. This is just one modification to the GI Tanto by COLDSTEEL. It's a great knife, it's a great setup, it's reasonably priced. I like that a lot, and it's going to save you money. I hope you enjoy it. Right there.